Hey, it was nice to meet at least half of you last week for lab. Um, I think my personal theme for this semester, after like everything since spring break, is just things not going according to plan. So, what's helping me out, and maybe this will help you out as a student, is control the things that you can control, and then whenever stuff like, the chiller in a brand new building going out less than half a year from when the building opened, just kind of roll with it, do what you can. So things you can control are things like watching the lecture videos and studying and stuff like that. And then we'll get through the rest of it together. This week, first off, big item, we have our first exam is on chapters 1, 15, 19, and 2. So that was that introduction chapter, the evolution chapter. 19 was systematics and phylogeny, which was really just naming and grouping things. And then chapter 2 is the chemistry chapter. Now that's listed this week. So I know that's kind of confusing sounding because we're doing our tests on something that we're going over this week for the first time. So here's the way you need to handle this. I mentioned the group that I met with in person. I told y'all this. And the other group, I sent a video. I don't know if you watched it or not. But what you need to do is really early in this week, hopefully you've been doing it like over this past weekend or something, but early in the week, you need to watch the chapter 2 lecture, the chemistry lecture. That'll give you plenty of time to review it, to go over it, study it, and then if there's something you're struggling with, that'll give you enough time to send me a message and I can try to help you out with it, all right? So you need to do that early in the week, and then at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, that's when your test is, okay? So do not put off that chapter 2 lecture. As soon as you can, knock that out, take notes, let me know if you have any questions. All right, so that leads us to the next part that's a little bit confusing. It's not that bad. So watch the chapter 2 lecture video. We have our exam, but there is a review quiz for chapter 2. And the only reason I'm doing this is the only time this whole year that we're going to have a lecture and a test in the same week, like on the same material. So just because every other review quiz has been due on a Sunday, I made this one due Sunday too, just because I didn't want to confuse you with the dates and all that. So just don't let that throw you off. It's kind of weird that we have a test on Thursday and Friday, and then your review quiz isn't due until Sunday. I just put it that way so you'll, like I said, the dates will be consistent on the review quizzes. But I would go ahead and do the review quiz early too. Those review quizzes, remember, they're not necessarily test questions, but it'll give you an idea of the types of questions you might see on the exam. So if you'll go ahead and do the review quiz first, you'll get an idea of what I'm looking for on that chapter 2 material. All right. So that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. For Group B, the group that did not get to meet in person, and then there were a few of you in the first group that didn't have your lab manual yet, make sure that you send me your lab pages if you haven't done that already. A lot of you have, but some of you, even though you were here on Monday or that Wednesday group, remember I posted a video that gives you instructions for doing lab 1 at home. You still have to turn it in because I'm still going to grade it. And eventually, if you don't turn it in, I'm going to have to put in a 0 for that. So let me know if you have any questions about that or if you need help figuring out how to submit it. And all right, so the bookstore was out of the lab manual, I know, last week, early on in the week, and they should have it now. By the time you're watching this, I think they've got their lab manuals in. But if you don't have your lab manual, if that's the reason that you haven't submitted that lab 1 worksheet, if you'll let me know, I've scanned a blank lab 1 worksheet, and this is the only one I'm going to do that. But for lab 1, since it's early in the semester and since the bookstore was out, if you'll let me know, I can send you a blank PDF of those lab questions, and you can print it off and fill it out and send that to me if you want to. All right. So if that's the reason you haven't sent it in, let me know about that too. All right. So that's it. Order of how I would do this. Early in the week, watch chapter 2 lecture video. Go ahead and take the review quiz, and then spend the middle of the week studying, preparing, sending me questions if you have any. And then Thursday and Friday is going to be our exam. All right. We don't have any labs this week, so you don't have to come up to campus. We're off Monday for Labor Day, so that's why we canceled labs this week. And then next week, the following week, hopefully we'll be back on schedule. Group A will be Monday. Group B will be Wednesday. We're going to do lab 2, which is on organic chemistry. It's a little different than the chemistry that we're talking about in chapter 2. All right. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I can help.